So welcome back to another episode, and welcome to the Analogue Duo. Yes, this just arrived yesterday, just in time for Christmas. I had this pre-ordered a long time ago. I also ordered the white version to match the PC Engine because, you know, I am a bit of a fan of these old consoles, and I get to play all of my old games on a new console now. What is this all about? What does this mean? And I just want to say that my friends My Life in Gaming and GameSack have gone into such technical detail on this machine, and they've done a stellar job. My journey today is a fan's journey, talking about playing the original TurboGrafx to now and how this machine handles all these old games. And do they really stack up after all of this time? Let's get into it. Let's go back 33 years ago. I was very lucky one Christmas. My parents bought me the TurboGrafx CD-ROM attachment so I could play Turbo Chip games right here and CD games right here. And it was a marvel. Back 33 years ago, you'd never seen anything like it in the way of cinematics, in the way of gameplay, in the way of music on CD. It was an incredible machine.
The TurboGrafx 16 Entertainment Super System.
Now here's what I gotta admit, over the years, as televisions got better, I became a little bit untech savvy on how to hook up my machines to the new TVs and get the best picture quality I could. I mean, I've done all sorts of things, like look at this, with my Duo here, my original Duo, having installed component video cables. And I put these in, and you know what? Mixed results. I didn't really love it. It didn't really work for me. I was like, this isn't the way I ideally want to play these games. And that's the thing, I have a huge library of PC Engine games. I'm a massive fanatic for this machine, and over the years, you won't believe it, I've never been able to play these games on a proper, brand new high definition television. I've emulated them, I've done all sorts of, tricks and whistles and all of that kind of stuff. And it never fulfilled me, and I've never felt really great. Until yesterday, I got this machine, and I can't tell you how happy I am. I can't tell you. I want to say something, and I don't know anybody who works at the Analog Company or anything like that, but I just want to say thank you from a fan's perspective. And I'm a fan. Yes, I have a YouTube show and all of that kinds of stuff, but I am a fan. That's number one what I am. I cover all of this stuff, but I didn't even think I was going to cover this. I just wanted to kind of have some drinks on a night and play this and sink back into my old games. That's all I wanted to do. But the more and more I was playing this, I was just like, I gotta talk about it. Okay, so what we have here, which is fascinating, is not an emulation machine. This is not a Polymega. We put a game in and it dumps the ROM. This is not what happens. It has a turbo chip slit right here where you can put your turbo chips in. GameSack Joe, my buddy, said his copy of Shinobi, as he put it in, did not play for him. Where I can say, I put in Shinobi last night and it worked okay. So I don't know, maybe they updated the firmware for this particular game. I'll get into that in a second. And right here is where you put the CD-ROM in. It goes in perfect, really nice, really smooth. It doesn't feel like it's going to scratch your disc or anything like that. That was a bit of a concern of mine. I have certain games that are worth hundreds of dollars, and I'm putting them in last night. I'm like, is this okay? It's okay. Okay, next thing is, the number one thing if you get a Duo, don't forget to update the firmware. And right in the back here, as you can see, is a little memory card here, which I put in, an SD memory card. And what you do is you go to Analog sites, you download the firmware, you throw it on the card, you put it in, and it automatically downloads and installs the new firmware. So that was the first thing I did. The next thing I did was hook up, right at the back here, my 8-bit Do controller. I ordered one of these a long time ago. I had this charging days ago, just waiting for this machine to show up. And as I said, I ordered the white PC Engine version as well. So I ordered a white PC Engine controller for the other units. Why would I do that? Why would I order another machine? Because I'm a crazy fan. As I said, I thought this machine was going to be good. I didn't know how good it was going to be for me being able to play all of my old games. And that's the great news here is you can play all of your old games on here. All of them. We're talking the Turbo Chip games from the TurboGrafx PC Engine. You can play arcade card games on this, Super Graphics games you can play on this, Super CD-ROM games. You get the drift. This thing plays anything from that era to do with the PC Engine TurboGrafx. And also, if you can see right here, here's the attachment where you can play all your old TurboGrafx PC Engine game controllers right here on there. But I've been playing with the 8-Bit Do wireless controller. And I gotta say, from a fan's point of view, there I am last night playing my old games next to the Christmas tree. And I'm like, I'm in awe. I'm in awe that I'm playing my old games from 33 years ago with a wireless controller. It feels like this is impossible. Back then, I'd be right up to the TV.
TurboGrafx 16. It's more than a game. It's non-stop action and awesome adventure.
Let's get into the picture right now. Seeing all of my old games blown up to 1080p perfection has been absolutely incredible. In fact, I sat last night. I was holding back a small tear. I was like, the younger John at 16 years old being able to play all of his old games on a modern television like this, I can't believe that they would create this machine. It feels like this machine was created for me. I know I'm being very selfish in that thing, but because I'm such a fan, that it's so fascinating that this machine even got created, that this wasn't forgotten in time. And that's what I want to say that leads into this. There's certain features in here where you can take screenshots and all that. The settings are really good, really robust. And there's a setting in there for memories, and it's like all those moments will be lost in time, like tears and rain from Blade Runner.
All those moments will be lost in time.
I'm like, oh my God, this machine is so perfectly made for me.
Like tears in rain.
Okay, so what did I first play last night? This is what I want to talk about from a fan's perspective. I got my piles out here. I'll bring my little piles out here of my initial games that I played last night. The number one thing that I wanted to play, and it's a bit of a dream come true for me, to finally play my original game I got, this one would be 32 years ago, is Easebooks 3. Right here, The Wanderers from Ys. I finally get to play this again. I have such childhood memories of being 16 years old, having all my family over, we had a fireplace, and getting this game. And that Christmas, my parents bought me a 21-inch television. I know, it seems like, oh, whoop-de-doo, but it was a big deal back then. And I remember hooking up the 21-inch TV in my room and having my TurboGrafx in there and putting Ys 3 on for the very first time. And I had friends come over, and I remember them talking about the parallax scrolling, going, oh my God, look at the different layers. And I was like this proud father of the TurboGrafx back then. I'm like, yes, of course, isn't it amazing? And I had my stereo hooked up to it, and that Christmas, I kind of get shivers from it right now. Thinking about playing Ys 3 is such a memorable time for me and my family when my father was still alive and all that. It's such a really deep memory, and that's the first game that I put in, and that's the game I'm finishing again this Christmas like I did from back then nearly 32 years ago. So that's why this machine is doing it for me. Do you see? I'm trying to give the emotional point of view. Next up is Dragon Slayer, The Legend of Heroes by Falcom as well. This is one that I got, I think, would be 31 years ago. A big favorite of mine, an RPG on the TurboGrafx CD-ROM. This was crazy back then. I will say one thing, the voice acting is horrendous. I gotta say, for all the TurboGrafx, the voice acting is horrendous, especially in Dragon Slayer, The Legend of Heroes.
By the break of dawn, not a monster remains standing.
But it was really nice to hear that music again and to sink back into that world. Beautiful stuff. Oh my gosh. Here's another one. This is my original copy again. I got like 31 years ago. Spriggan, Ghost Warrior Spriggan. A great shooter. A shooter that I finished so many times that my head would spin to think about the number. I love the music in this one, love the mech action, love all the mechanics, love collecting all the energy balls and combining them to create better weapons. What a classic. Okay, The next one to play is my copy of Exile, brought over here by Working Designs. This is an Arabian-style RPG that I fell in love with. You have your overhead graphics, and you have your side view action combat. So this is an action RPG, and it's a really great thing. I was playing it again last night going, oh my god, this is a little bit hard. I forgot how difficult this game was. Oh. Me and Guy Kazama go back a long way with Last Alert here. It was Red Alert in Japan when it was brought out. And this is an overhead, I'd call it an overhead Rambo style of shooting game, but with Guy Kazama, one of the most legendary characters in all of video game history. This guy is unbelievable with voice acting that is from beyond this world.
Guy Kazama, if you don't want the hostage killed, you should keep quiet.
Guy, the stealth bomber is in the back of this factory.
Okay, Spartan, hang in there just a while longer.
Here's Final Zone. I didn't get a chance to put this in. This is saved for tonight. And yes, here we go. A couple of burned copies of Ys 4, the English versions. I've had these for years. I popped this in to see if it would play. It plays. CDRs work on this thing incredibly well as well. Here's another crazy one from my past, visiting my local anime store back in the day. I talked about it before. Flash Hiders. This was, I know you look at it now, you're like, what? This was a great fighting game back in the day. Great cinematics, lots of gameplay, so many different kinds of versus modes, so many different kinds of characters. And at the time, I know you'll say, these were beautiful graphics. Played some good old Dragon Saber. I know you look at some of these games and be like, man, some of these games look really old. They are old. They are from a different time, and some of them hold up better than others. Even I can admit that. But playing, you know, Dragon Saber and Dragon Spirit, they are things from my past that are very nostalgic. Aero Blasters, a great side view shoot 'em up that I first played in an arcade in Oregon back when I was a teenager. Fell in love with Aero Blasters in the arcade. A great version of it for the TurboGrafx PC Engine. Really great stuff. I was also playing a little bit of Strider. And the really crazy thing about the PC Engine arcade game version of Strider is that it has extra cinemas built for this version only. And even I'd forgotten about that, and really nice to visit this again. And does it hold up to the Genesis version? No, but it makes up for it with the cinematics. Okay, my next thing, Macross, the side view shoot 'em up with great, brand new designs at the time by Mikimoto for the flight suits. Great shoot 'em up, side view, great music, carrying back from the movie and from the TV show. Just wanted to talk about my initial games that I've been playing. I've got a lot more to go. I gotta say, I was in awe of playing this machine last night on a 4K TV. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I can't believe I'm playing this. And I know a lot of my friends are talking about upscaling it to 4K. I'm not being funny. I can't imagine it looking better than what it does. Like, I think they've done an amazing job. It's so crazy. I'm playing off my original CDs. I'm playing off my original CDs on this machine. It's remarkable what they've done from a technical point of view. I love the Analogue Duo. I think it's absolutely incredible. For anybody who's a TurboGrafx fan, or a PC Engine fan from back in the day, it's a must-buy. It's a must-buy. I'm gonna play this all through Christmas. I got so many games I want to put in and revisit, and I never thought I'd have an all-in-one plug-and-play, TurboGrafx, Turbo PC Engine, everything console, playing it wirelessly with a controller. It's the stuff of dreams for me, and I gotta say, it's really made my Christmas this year. Are any of you guys picking it up? What do you think of this machine so far? For me, I'm gonna say something crazy. It's a 10 out of 10. And I don't know anybody at Analogue. I was not sent a review copy. I bought all of my stuff for myself as a fan, and as a fan, I'm completely satisfied. And it's remarkable that this machine even came out. Small tier, Absolutely. So, guys, I just want to talk about a little bit of my experience playing this game, especially late last night. Really great stuff. So, anyways, guys, until next time.